Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie and today I'm going to be reviewing The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. I received this book as an ARC by the publisher through NetGalley and I am going to be giving you my honest thoughts, my honest review. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars, which is not terrible, but on my rating scale it's not very good either. This is in no way a rant review, however I will be sharing my honest critical opinions of this book. This book tells the story of 2 Viking clans at war and it follows 2 main characters. The boy's name is Halvard, who is actually supposed to be the next chief of his clan, and it also follows a girl named Tova who was actually born as a Kyr, and the Kyr are the mysterious magical clansmen who live in the lowlands. They never leave their homeland and so it is very rare for another clansman to meet a Kyr. The main character Tova actually drowned as a young child and per Kyr custom she was sent off into the sea on a funeral boat and was burned, but then a man from another clan actually finds her boat washed ashore and she is actually still alive, so he takes her in and raises her as basically his own. However, because she is a Kyr, the people of this new clan actually fear her because everyone believes that the Kyr are bad luck. But what is special about Tova is she is actually a truth tongue, meaning she can cast the stones and see into the future. So this new clan keeps her alive because she can tell the future for them and it can be used to their advantage in war. The 2 main characters' worlds collide when Tova and Halvard's clans go to war against each other. One thing I noticed straight away from reading this book is the world building was very confusing. Because it centers around the Viking culture, there are a lot of Viking names for people and places, and it can get really confusing because not only are they hard to read and hard to pronounce, they're like every other word. So it was kind of hard to follow because you'd have to stop yourself and be like, wait, who is that, or what is that, what is happening in the story, because these are just a bunch of words that I don't know the meaning of. The next thing I noticed about the narrative is it is told rather than shown. It felt like I was being told what was happening, but I wasn't immersed into the story. So not only was I confused, but I also just didn't care what was happening at all. I didn't even care to read the next paragraph, the next page. I didn't care about what happened because I was not immersed into the story. It was almost like when somebody is telling you what happened with their day, but it's super boring and no one cares, so you just kind of like tune them out and you don't really listen to them. That's kind of how this book was for me. That's why I love reading, is being immersed into a story, making it feel like I am there with the characters, I'm there while these events are happening, and it didn't feel that way to me. So it kind of took the enjoyment out of reading this book. Another thing I didn't really like about this book is the lack of world building. You are pretty much only told the basics of the magic system in the world. You are only told the bare minimum, and what is explained to you, it's very confusing, very hard to understand with all the wording. I felt like it could have been explained better to me in a way that I could understand, because as the author, you know what you mean because you have the whole magic system created in your head, you have the world in your head, but readers don't have that. The picture of the world has to be painted for us, and I felt like that was lacking in this book. One thing I did like about this book is the characters. However, I felt like they didn't have a lot of depth. While I did like them, there wasn't anything that really made me feel for them. I also didn't feel like there was any character development with Halvard. His character pretty much remains the same throughout the whole book. However, there is some development for Tova. She goes from being someone who is scared to use her powers, she is scared to stand up for herself, and she's always fearful of what's going to happen to her, and she turns into someone who can stand up for herself and make her own decisions, make her own choices, and take her life into her own hands instead of always being told what to do. Unfortunately, another thing I didn't like about this book is the plot. It wasn't bad per se, it just wasn't super interesting for me. The 2 clans are at war, and this book is basically just them going and ransacking villages and then the other people running away, and that was pretty much all there was right up until the very end. Really, the only plot that happens throughout the book up until the end is the backstory. Other than that, it's just different war scenes. However, I really liked the way the author wrote the different fight scenes. I feel like she did a really good job at writing those scenes. The fight scenes were the only times that I actually felt immersed into the story and I couldn't stop reading. Those scenes are what kept me going, what kept me reading, and although the first quarter of the book was really hard to get through, not gonna lie, I wanted to quit reading this book. But I pushed through. I did really like the fight scenes, so I was like, I'll give this book a chance. I liked the characters, so I wanted to give them a chance to build, and I wanted to give the book a chance because, one, I was sent this book as an ARC by the publisher to do a review, so I felt obligated to continue. But two, I did genuinely want to see what happened. I didn't necessarily care what happened to the characters or what happened with the plot. I just wanted to see if the book redeemed itself for me, to see if it got any better, and it did. I actually really ended up liking the second half of this book. So although the first half was very unenjoyable for me, I did actually really like the second half, and I really liked the ending. I appreciated the way things wrapped up, and so the book did redeem itself for me, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. So to wrap up my thoughts, I had a lot of issues with this book, and I was hoping I would get more from it. I was hoping I would really like it because it sounds interesting, and I know many people love Sky in the Deep, which is this author's debut novel. However, I also read some reviews by people who got an ARC of this book, and they said that Sky in the Deep was a lot better than this one. They thought that The Girl the Sea Gave Back felt more like a debut novel rather than Sky in the Deep. So if you are interested in this author's works, they recommend reading Sky in the Deep over The Girl the Sea Gave Back. I personally can't comment on that because I have not read Sky in the Deep. Based off of my issues with this book, I don't think I will personally be giving her other books a read. However, you can change my mind. If you are interested in this book, I will leave a Goodreads link down in the description below if you want to read more about it, read more reviews, check it out for yourself. Thank you to the publisher for sending me this book. I really appreciate it, and I am glad that I read it. Unfortunately, I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more bookish content by me. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Cut that last part out. I said that too many times. Repeating myself over and over again.